What happens when you gather 350 mercenaries in one place and tell them you're going to change warfare forever? First, someone will challenge you, and then you show them exactly why they shouldn't. Eyes wide, mouths hanging open, terror and disbelief frozen on every face. Logan McClane stood over his fallen opponent, golden force energy still blazing around his arm.
Anyone else want to run their damn mouth?
Silence. No one dared move.
Force user? At that age?
I thought he was out of the ordinary, but I didn't realize he was this good.
The whispers rippled through the crowd. Fear turned to respect. Respect turned to attention.
Then let me formally introduce myself. I am Logan McClane, the man who called you here. Many of you may be wondering why I'm throwing money around and hiring mercenaries.
He raised his arm high, holding a crossbow silhouetted against the golden sun.
I'm thinking of training you to be crossbow cavalrymen.
The crowd's enthusiasm died instantly.
What? Crossbows? Do people even use those on horseback?
Mr. Logan, crossbows aren't efficient weapons for cavalrymen to use. We'd just spend all our time reloading.
The objections were valid. A crossbow took over a minute to reload. On horseback, you'd be defenseless.
I know.
That calm confidence silenced them all over again.
Even if you think I'm blowing away money cosplaying as a soldier, train them thoroughly first. You'll find out the reason later.
His eyes held the weight of 20 years of future knowledge, a war no one else had seen yet.
These crossbow cavalrymen will be a great force for McClane, even beyond the forthcoming war between the fiefs.
A few days later, 312 mercenaries passed qualification. The training began. But warriors alone wouldn't win this war. Logan needed the weapon itself. And for that, he turned to a dwarf craftsman who was about to have his world turned upside down.
Master, what is this?
Hamar the dwarf stared at the schematic with wide eyes, his expert mind racing through the mechanics.
That's a schematic of the crossbow you're gonna make. A cartridge that holds bolts. Autoloading. 3 shots in a row.
3 shots in a row. But a crossbow can't even fire 2 shots in a minute. Who the hell came up with this?
Me.
The single word hung in the air like a revelation.
On second thought, it's such a novel idea.
The craftsman's professional pride kicked in. He began listing technical problems.
But with twisted strings in a structure like this, the strings won't hold up, and that wooden box behind it will be uncomfortable for the shooter. What are you going to do about that?
That's on you.
Just like that, the challenge was issued. Hamar's mind began working through solutions.
Reduce the size of the bolt, make the cartridges prefabricated, and have them reload every time you shoot. Let's call them magazines for convenience. No way! This would be like a weapon that's beyond our time.
Logan smiled that knowing smile. The smile of someone who'd already seen the future. That's because it was created in the future.
To think that all it takes is a cartridge, spring, some wood, glue, and a bowstring. This is a motivating challenge. Great! I'll give it a shot.
When do you think he'll be able to do it?
You're asking me to build something I've never heard of, with a deadline.
Logan leaned forward with a knowing look.
It's still a weapon humans have made.
Where? Who?
You don't need to know that. If you think you can't do it, then give up.
The reverse psychology hit like a hammer. A dwarf's pride was not easily bruised.
My goodness. Okay, I'll do it. In 1 month. I'll build something far superior in that time. Watch what happens when you mess with a dwarf's ego.
While Hamar worked on the weapon, Logan turned his attention to another investment, a young boy named Victor. 14 years old, smaller than his peers, running 20 kilometers without rest. Sweat pouring down his face, legs burning, lungs screaming.
You're slowing down again. You can do better. Run.
Rick, the trainer, pushed him to the absolute limit, not out of cruelty, out of necessity. In Logan's past life, this boy became the noble slayer, a monster born from starvation and desperation. But now, with food, training, and a dream to chase, he could become something else entirely.
I can't believe what a difference that little food made.
Days blurred together. Running, sword forms, more running, exhaustion, food, sleep, repeat. Rick demonstrated the kingdom's sword technique in flowing motion, the blade singing through the air. Victor watched, learned, practiced, his body screaming for rest, but his eyes burning with determination. I'm tired. I want to pass out right now. But if the price of this exhaustion is good food and a good night's sleep. Warm light glowed from the manor windows. Inside, Victor and his little sister sat at a table with real food. For a child who'd known only hunger, this was paradise, worth every drop of sweat. Days turned to weeks. Victor's form improved rapidly. Even Rick was impressed.
I don't even think Ronian was that good, and they're the same age.
Then Rick offered the boys something precious, something worth more than gold.
If you build up your stamina and perform the Kingdom Sword technique perfectly 1,000 times in a row, you could probably call yourself a knight.
A knight? The word hung in the air like a dream, a future he'd never dared imagine. Yes, sir.
Good. If there's anything else you want for your training, tell me. I can probably take care of most things.
I don't need anything. Rick looked surprised. Most would ask for weapons, armor, better quarters. Please just look after my sister as you do now. That's enough for me. Rick's weathered face softened. In that moment, he saw not a future weapon, but a good kid.
Excellent.
Logan walked the manor grounds, mentally reviewing his preparations. Victor may not be ready for the war, but he'll be a great help to macline in the future. The mercenary corps and Hamar's weapon would be formidable. Logan couldn't afford hope alone. Mar might fail, the mercenaries might not adapt. Too many variables beyond his control. He needed another plan, a backup, something only he could control. Logan stood before his father's desk in the warm afternoon light.
So you're saying you want to join the Knights training?
Yes, sir.
Captain Kinkle stood before his knights with an announcement that shook to their core.
As of today, First Young Master Logan will be joining the training of our Knights Order.
Shock rippled through the ranks like a shockwave.
Did I hear that right? The troublemaker is going to train with us?
The knights were furious, skeptical. They saw Logan as nothing more than a spoiled noble playing at being a warrior.
Does he take knights for a joke now since he won against Dominem?
Even Heinkel, the captain's advisor, had his doubts.
You're going to have the young master train with the Knights. The Knights are not going.
But Kinkle's orders were absolute.
I'm not asking you to give him special treatment. Grill him through and through like you would a rookie knight.
Red aura radiated from the captain's body, his force blazing with intensity. Heinkel swallowed hard. This was his lord's son. How could he train him like a common recruit?
If I fall behind a single training drill during a week, I'll just pretend this never happened and get out of your way.
And so it began. Hell Week.
For this week, the Knights Order training will be at triple the difficulty level.
Knights crawled through mud in full armor, carrying massive loads on their backs. Their bodies screamed in agony.
What the hell kind of training is this?
Don't you die on me. You are Cavalry Knights. How can you be oblivious to how it feels to be a horse?
The knights gasped for air, their lungs burning. Sweat poured down their faces beneath their helmets.
We're going through this hell because of that damn troublemaker. But he'll only last so long before he runs away. Maybe he'll last 3 days. He won't last a day.
And then they looked up. While every single knight crawled through the dirt, Logan stood tall, upright, equipment on his back, a smile on his face.
No way, that troublemaker's in the lead?
Not only was he leading, he was smiling, actually enjoying it.
Oh. At this rate, it'll be the knights and not him who'll fall behind.
All of you, halt. We'll rest for 10 minutes.
Heinkel approached Logan during the break, hoping to give him an excuse to quit.
Young Master, how are you doing? Tiring, right?
Of course it's tiring.
Heinkel's eyes gleamed with hope. This was his chance to end the madness.
All you gotta do is give an honest answer, and I can ditch this crazy training. And
It's doable.
Heinkel's jaw dropped.
It's great training. Knights go through this every day, so there's no way they're not strong. I'm looking forward to the next training.
That evening, Logan returned to his quarters, but he wasn't done training. Training with the knights was his insurance policy if all his plans failed, but there was more to his strategy.
I can develop my force through meditation, but what's also important is to train my body. That's where the Knights Order training will come in handy.
Logan sat cross-legged and closed his eyes. Golden energy began to swirl around him. His force core grew brighter, stronger. The exhaustion from training melted away like...
As I thought, it works. As my force core is growing, I don't even feel fatigued.
Visions swirled before his closed eyes. A ghostly warrior overlaid his form, powerful and battle-hardened.
Maybe once I reach 2-star, I'll have power rivaling a high-ranking knight like my father.
Meanwhile, in his workshop, Hamar the dwarf stared at yet another failed prototype.
Fail. This one's out too.
Logan stormed in, eyes blazing with frustration.
Is that all you can do? Where's the thread I ordered? This thing only shoots 1 round. And the magazine? Did I say it needed to be integrated?
Hamar's face crumpled with hurt.
But this is...
Aw, damn it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
But Logan wasn't done. He had a plan, a manipulative, brilliant plan.
If this really is your best, I guess there's nothing we can do about it.
Logan's eyes gleamed with calculated disappointment.
Weeks of work and nothing but this. I expected too much from you. I'm the one at fault. I judged you incorrectly. I was wrong.
Hamar's dwarven pride ignited like a forge fire.
1 month. I'll make another within 1 month. Come back in 1 month.
Logan smirked as he walked away. The manipulation had worked perfectly.
Whoa, he got so angry that he's gonna start from scratch? If I grill him more, he'll come out with something amazing.
1 month later, Hamar stood in his workshop, holding his masterpiece with barely contained pride.
What do you think? It has 1 less shot than you originally asked for, but this one's easier to hold in 1 hand, and you can change magazines.
Logan tested it. Load, fire, reload. Less than 5 seconds.
Holy shit, it took me less than 5 seconds to load and fire.
All you have to do is change the pre-bolted cartridge and it's ready to go.
No, in fact, it's outperforming.
Logan's mind raced ahead. The war between the thieves was still months away. With this weapon,
I can't believe we've already gotten this far when we're still months away from the war between the fiefs.
Hamar jumped excitedly, desperate for approval.
Master, are you listening to me?
Logan snapped back to attention and knelt down, patting the dwarf's head affectionately. Hamar blushed furiously, embarrassed but secretly pleased.
Bloody hell. Someone could see us. I'm not a kid.
Then Logan's expression changed. His hand settled on Hamar's shoulder, serious now.
Hamar.
What? What is it?
Eyes gleamed with impossible ambition.
You're gonna make 400 of these in 2 months, right?
What good are weapons without soldiers who know how to use them? Logan's revolutionary crossbows were a marvel of engineering, rapid fire, devastating power, and range that made ordinary weapons obsolete. But their true test would come not on the forge, but on the battlefield.
Whoa, that's amazing. It flies off quite far. It shoots consecutive shots too. It's an interesting crossbow. How could this be? How can a crossbow even do that? A muzzle-loading crossbow of this range, power, and speed. You're truly amazing. So this is what you had in mind when you mentioned crossbow cavalrymen?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Hamar, the dwarf craftsman, had gone through quite a hard time. Logan had extra craftsmen assist him, but who would have expected he'd complete the order 2 weeks ahead of schedule and make 100 extra crossbows? 100 weapons beyond what was asked. The dwarf's pride ran deep.
As expected of an expert rank dwarf, is obviously superior.
I'd like to share this with the Knight's Order and the soldiers too, but there's the issue of funds and possible leak of technology. Starting today, equip the mercenaries with crossbows and clear out the monsters from outside the territory.
What? That's...
Not, it might be possible. Make it possible.
He wouldn't have made a weapon like this just to subjugate monsters.
Here, take 1 crossbow each.
Is he preparing for war?
While the mercenaries trained with crossbows, Logan pushed himself to the breaking point. Running up stone steps with a massive log on his shoulders, sweat pouring, muscles screaming.
He has some tremendous stamina. Is that ridiculous physical ability genetic?
If he's really like the patriarch, he must be really good with a sword.
Still, when I think back to Dominion, how can you compare him to the old man? He even lost to his younger brother before awakening.
Well, despite that, it's kind of amazing how he's been consistently enduring the training for over a month now. The training that was initially designed to drive Logan away now solidified as the new symbol of the Knight's Order. It became an unexpected stimulus for the low-ranked knights who had been taking it easy.
Ray, you must have had a hard time carrying me all this time, huh? Thank you.
The knights began to truly understand and empathize with their horses. I'm heavy, aren't I? I overate yesterday, so...
Whatever, man. Don't mind stuff like that among comrades.
the strengthening of bonds among the knights.
I merely persisted with the training since the first young master wouldn't quit. But I can't believe all these results. My lucky charm walked in on his own 2 feet.
But Logan's training was far from over. After pushing his body hard with training, he would stimulate his internal consciousness with meditation.
The iterations are synergizing with each other, and I'm making solid progress. Lately, I've been seeing signs of a shift in the Force. If I can improve my martial powers as per my expectations, superhuman, Aura Master, Archmage, I can surpass all the monsters I saw in my previous life.
Golden energy swirled around him like living flame. Power surged through his core, building, condensing, crystallizing.
It's complete. 2-star core. Now I have the basics to learn the next secret technique of the sword secrets. Iron Slash, Killer Iron Slash. Just considering the power that the first technique gave me, I'm sure the second technique will be far more powerful than expected. If I can just master that technique before the war, even a high-ranking knight wouldn't scare me.
In the open fields, the true test began. Crossbow bolts screamed through the air, one after another after another. Goblins fell by the dozens, 100 monsters gone in seconds.
Whoa, there's hardly any recoil. Whoo!
Mine went through one guy's head and plunged into the head of another guy behind.
The swarm of over 100 monsters was wiped out in less than 10 seconds. Their old habits of using a basic crossbow have been broken quite a bit, and they're much faster at changing the magazines.
It was worth the effort to come for the hunt so far into the territory.
Are you satisfied?
Somewhat. They were a complete mess during the first monster hunt, but they've gotten so much better.
Just out of curiosity, why are you doing this? I've never heard of a mercenary army with this much firepower. Are you planning on slaying monsters all over the continent?
Before Logan could answer, Soldier burst onto the scene.
Young Master! What's wrong? A person named Rick sent me here. Rick?
The message was delivered with trembling hands. Yesterday, Viscount Tesseron had declared war. War against them. Now. A letter sealed in wax arrived at the macline estate, for the grudge of my ancestor over his wrongful death.
I blame the House macline.
The nobles gathered in the great hall, their faces pale with shock.
That's a thing of the past, and he's putting the blame now? Does that make cause for war?
Patriarch, what will you do?
Darling, just Viscount Tesseron's Knight Order has far more soldiers than we do. Even with you there, the chances of winning.
Then, should we choose to guard the city and call for reinforcements?
No, we need to send an envoy first to make peace. A hand gripped the armrest, tight enough to crack wood.
Silence, all of you.
Patrick McLean stood at the center of the hall, his voice cutting through the fear like a blade.
Even if the royal family's authority isn't as strong as it used to be, these people just declared war without so much as their permission. It's crystal clear they planned this out. So those who talk about making peace, did you even think before you spoke?
His eyes blazed with a fury that silenced every voice in the room.
But will the young masters go to war too?
My sons will go to war as well. Ian's force has awakened now, and Logan is of age. He should do his part.
Speaking of which, I heard the first young master trains with the knights.
Since they're both Force users, they'll be of great help. This is bad.
Far from the castle, Logan stood on a hillside as a servant delivered the news. And that is what happened. Logan's mind raced through memories of his past life.
The war wasn't supposed to start for another 2 months. What could possibly have hastened it?
Young master, you must hurry. They're defying all customs and are on the move after their declaration. You must leave now.
There's no time to think. The Logan Mercenary Corps are ready anytime. Kai, you don't seem too surprised that war has broken out. For us, if there is no war, we want to start one. What a terrible thing to say. We got our hands on a great weapon. Isn't it obvious we'd want to use it?
They had overwhelmingly massacred the monster flock from last winter. 314 mercenaries, certain of their victory.
We've got enough combat power right now?
While House McLean reeled from the anxiety of unexpected war, Logan's mercenary corps prepared to depart. But the war began sooner than even the maclanes thought. The day after the declaration, Tesseron's troops showed up at the maclane estate, and their numbers exceeded all expectations.
There are over 100 knights alone. On top of that, there's almost 10,000 conscripts. It's an all-out war.
Their trusted allies turned their backs on them. Backed into a corner, Patrick gathered as many men as he could to fight.
Gather all men who can carry weapons. We will respond with full force.
Yes, sir.
They gathered 53 knights, 552 regular troops, and 4,418 conscripts, for a total of 5,023. This force wasn't even half the numbers of Tesseron's army.
Where's the first young master? Didn't you hear? He went out a long while ago and hadn't come back yet.
Now of all times.
He probably won't come back. He must have run away after hearing the news. What are you talking about? There's no way he would do that.
Ronian's mind flashed back to their training together.
I already expected this war would happen. I'll teach you a secret technique soon. Let's save our family together. There's no way he'd run away.
Whispers spread through the ranks as Patrick prepared to address his troops.
The first young master ran away? That rumor was true?
Ronian, you must play your brother's role on his behalf. Don't you waver at any cost.
Ronian's face showed the weight of that burden.
Why don't I want to believe it? But that doesn't matter right now.
Everyone, charge. Let's crush.
Patrick McLean charged into battle, his sword blazing with decades of power. Finally, Patrick has drawn his sword at last.
My knights are my swords. Face them now, Patrick McLean.
First of all, I must break through the vanguard.
His blade crashed into the enemy line like thunder. The impact shook the battlefield. Metal screamed against metal as Patrick's overwhelming force collided with the enemy knight's defense.
He blocked my attack?
The war for House McLean's survival had begun. The blade came faster than thought. Pain exploded through his shoulder, his left arm gone.
Cry! My arm! My arm!
He lay in the mud, pale fingers still curled, as if trying to hold on to life. He collapsed. Blood pooled beneath him. The battlefield roared on, indifferent.
Help! Someone... help!
But no one came. In war, the wounded are left behind. Terror gripped him. He could see the truth now, written in the chaos around him.
We were so disadvantaged, they even sent out a servant like me. If they enclose us here, we'll lose no matter what.
But survival has its own desperate magic. His spear swung upward. An enemy soldier fell, screaming. The impact exploded in red. Another life ended.
Get up right now. Ready your spear. He's an ally? Thank God. Thank you.
But adrenaline has limits. His body gave out. He fell to his knees. Panic seized him. The only choice left was flight.
I need to run away to the rear, as far from the enemy as possible.
The battlefield stretched wide. Soldiers clashed in desperate combat. Steel rang against steel. His legs pounded across the grass. Just a little further. No.
They've surrounded us from the rear too.
While common soldiers bled and died, the true battle unfolded elsewhere. Two knights clashed. The impact shook the air, red energy exploding at the point of contact.
You definitely live up to your name, Viscount. We made so many preparations, yet I can't believe my state.
5 knights stood in formation behind him. Elite warriors, high-ranking force users.
He withstood my attacks that contained force. I didn't expect Tesseron would have a high-ranking knight as well, but is that why they're so confident?
The warrior stepped forward, red cape billowing, silver armor gleaming. So, you're the people prepared to deal with me, huh? He leaped. The world seemed to slow. Energy gathered around him like a crimson storm. Well, how do you like the preparations? I get blocked here, so will the Knight's Order. And if that happens... His eyes blazed with crimson light. Power surged through him. I won't let that happen. Red energy exploded outward. The very air screamed. Knight staggered back from the shockwave. His blade came down like judgment itself. The impact shook the earth. Red light carved through the battlefield.
Damn bastards! Do you have no pride as knights?
What the hell is he on about?
Just let him be. It's his last struggle before dying.
You whelps! He's still a trained high-ranking knight.
His eyes burned with fierce determination. Every strike carried the weight of desperation. One knight fell, then another. Steel clashed. Energy exploded. But it wasn't enough. It was never enough. The blade came again and again, defending, parrying, barely holding on. And then he understood.
While the high-ranking knight blocks my attacks, the others are attacking me. It's an obvious trap, yet I can't escape it.
5 knights surrounded him in perfect formation. The rear was blocked. His smile was sad, resigned, the smile of a man who knows how the story ends.
Right, Logan did good, running away.
If young man who'd fled the battlefield, at least one would survive.
I hope he can at least continue the family's legacy.
Far from the battlefield, in a command tent untouched by blood. It was good thinking, not letting people know I had a high-ranking knight. The blonde aristocrat smiled. Victory was within reach. Now I just have to crush Patrick and take over the macline castle. His eyes gleamed with anticipation, greed, dark ambition. And as long as I get my hands on that, but then a sound, distant thunder. The sound of cavalry troops? Soldier burst in, armor clanking, breath ragged.
Lord, we spotted a unit of cavalry troops in the rear. There's around 300 of them.
Cavalrymen? Did macline have more elite troops?
What's peculiar is that they're not even carrying spears. The only weapons they're equipped with are
He paused, as if the words themselves were unbelievable.
small crossbows.
The Lord laughed, actually laughed. Crossbows? You mean the weapons that hunters use? Just get the rear soldiers and archers unit to get rid of them. They're no elite troops. They're just some trash soldiers. The ground trembled. 300 riders thundered across the field. Against the blood-red sky, they rose. Crossbows lifted in perfect unison. Metal mechanisms clicked. Strings drew taut. Then they fired. 300 bolts ripped through the air.
Ah!
Bodies fell. Armor meant nothing. Distance meant nothing. The devastation was absolute. Hundreds of soldiers fell in seconds. The battlefield became a slaughter. This was no ordinary cavalry. This was macline's answer. The crossbow cavalry, Logan's secret weapon. And the war would never be the same. The arrows fell like rain, thousands of bolts blotting out the sky. A storm of steel plummeting toward the enemy rear.
The maclines.
Panic seized the Teslan forces. Crossbow technology they'd never seen.
The macline forces had those kinds of troops?
The initial shock passed. Veteran instincts kicked in.
All those who weren't wearing heavy shields are dead. If I was given the slightest bit of time, counterattack, let's shoot back as well.
Enemy archers scrambled to return fire. Soldiers charged forward, but then a weapon beyond their comprehension.
The arrows won't reach them.
A massive energy beam carved across the battlefield. Patrick's sword, planted in the earth, radiated pink death. Bodies fell. Horses screamed. The rear turned into chaos in seconds.
How could this be? They didn't even use magic, just those damn crossbows. What the hell kind of weapons have you made, Patrick? Get the cavalrymen in the front lines to come here. Catch those bastards.
Desperation fueled the command. Cavalry thundered toward the macline crossbowmen. And Logan watched with cold satisfaction.
They're coming here on their own.
The cavalry charged, hooves pounding, blades raised. Death incarnate. A wall of armored horses crashing toward the crossbow line. But Logan's men didn't break. They stood their ground. Meanwhile, on the front line, a different battle raged. Steel clashed against steel. Logan's sword met enemy blade. Cute!
Great job dodging that, kid.
Grill, we don't have time for this. The battle's taken a strange turn.
What? You think I'm playing right now? This kid's no joke. I'm not playing here. Look behind you.
Logan's body blazed with energy. Pink aura, radiating power.
Regardless, I can't lose. You gotta do your brother's part as well.
His force surged. The air hummed with barely contained violence.
I can't crumble down here.
But something strange happened. Enemy soldiers turned their backs, swinging at empty air.
What the hell are they doing showing their backs? They're swinging their swords at the air. Whatever the case, this is an opportunity.
One enemy lunged. Logan's blade cut clean through him. But it was too easy.
Why did I slash him so easily?
Then Logan saw it. Arrows embedded in the fallen soldier's back.
Arrows? That is...
A realization hit like a thunderclap. His opponents were already wounded, dying, fighting on sheer will.
Logan.
The warrior recognized him, saw the tactical genius unfolding. Attack the ones holding the crossbows. Logan's defensive line stood ready, kite shields locked into formation.
Is that kite shield? Remarkable defense formation, I must say. Aim diagonally toward the ground. Aim for the horses.
The cavalry closed, thunder of hooves. The ground shook. Crossbow bolts ripped into the charging horses. Animals screamed.
Stay still. I'm falling off the horse.
The cavalry charge collapsed. Horses fell. Riders crashed.
Dumb fucks.
But Logan's smile faded. His eyes searched the battlefield.
Fortunately, I think I was on time to be able to help Ronian.
But there was still father left.
I resolved to save my family in this life. There's no point in winning the battle if I lose my family. Kai, take command.
What? But our plan was to attack from outside their shooting distance. Logan turned, walked alone toward the enemy lines.
Victory's right in front of us. Why is he trying to get himself killed?
Damn it. Fuck this shit. All of you, cover Mr. Logan. Blades clashed with explosive force. Logan fought like a demon. Steel rang against steel, impact after impact. The enemy warrior cursed, blade flashing.
This fucking...
And then Logan did unthinkable. He ran directly onto the enemy's blade, let it pierce his body.
I can't believe you ran at me even though you knew you'd get stabbed. Cry. Fuck. Something strange.
Impaled, blood pouring. But Logan pushed forward still. His soldiers surged around him, throwing themselves at the enemy.
They're all pushing themselves and basically throwing themselves at me. Why are they so desperate when they have the upper hand?
The warrior didn't understand. This wasn't tactics. This was love. And then, the explosion. Golden energy burst outward, a devastating shockwave. The blast tore through the battlefield, bodies thrown like leaves.
Damn it.
Smoke cleared. Bodies littered the ground. The enemy warrior defeated.
What on earth happened? You!
The battlefield fell silent, devastation everywhere. And through the smoke, Logan still stood, wounded, bleeding.
I barely made it on time.
Logan! His father, bloodied, alive, safe. This time, Logan saved him.